Okay, we're back with our wonderful Husqvarna 65 AWD lawnmower. So I've got a new problem, and it should be an easy fix. One of the pulleys for the drive system has disintegrated and needs to be replaced. And the good news is that I have the replacement pulley, and I have it by accident, because when I purchased all the parts for the last repair, I apparently ordered one pulley too many, and so I got a spare pulley. And so I'm going to be replacing it, and so I've got to do some of the disassembly, and because I got to lean this over on its side for a protracted period of time, relatively speaking, I am going to drain the oil once again. So that's what we're going to do first, is drain the oil, and then I'm going to let this thing sit for a little while. The reason I'm doing this is because I had an experience a while ago where I left the lawnmower on its side, on the oil side, the oil filler side of the machine, and the valves filled up with oil, and I had quite the impressive cloud of smoke, and I don't want to deal with that. It's probably very bad for the engine anyway. So I'm going to drain the oil so I can leave this thing on its side for however long I need it to be on its side for the repair. So that's the first step. So here we're just going to tip this over. Onto its side, right into the a little bit of dirt, but that's the recycler's problem. And oh, hang on. So there it goes. So we'll let that oil drain out. I mean, it's not a huge quantity. It is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not a tragedy. And I've got plenty more oil, so we'll just wait for that to be completely drained, and then we'll get into the repair. So on this side, once again, we're going to have to take the blade off and that cover off to get full access to the drive belt and the pulleys, which we will do next, but as I said, I'm going to wait till after the oil drains. So stop recording here for now, and we'll wait. Yeah, and I guess that'll give me some time to recharge the battery on this video camera. So we'll see you in the next couple seconds. See you, bye. Okay, as I said, we're gonna just leave this machine on its side now that the oil's out, and we're gonna take the blade off, we're gonna take that cover off, and then we're hopefully going to be able to just replace this pulley. Maybe we'll get lucky here and it'll be a simple fix and it won't get too complicated, but we'll see. So the first thing to do is to take the blade off, and for that we need a 14mm socket. Don't lose those washers. Oh, that's interesting. Blade's taking a bit of a hit. I don't know what I hit. You can see those notches. Pretty nasty. I don't remember hitting anything really that hard, although that pulley did come apart and get chopped up. Maybe it was the pulley. It's made out of plastic though. I don't wow. I don't know, maybe I should replace this blade, but it won't be today. to take the cover off, we need these 2 screws on the top of the deck to be removed. And for that, we need an 8mm nut driver. Screw number 1. Screw number 2. And then 1 bolt. Removed from here. This is 13mm. I think a half-inch will also work for this. It's not super tight. Okay. Now the cover comes off, and right there is our destroyed pulley. So let's see if a 13mm will fit. It doesn't. Let's see what it does. 11mm. Look at that, man. There's just nothing left of that pulley at all except the bearing. Fascinating. Okay, so these pulleys are not identical on either side. This is the front. This is the back. This side goes towards the deck. Now let's see if we can get stop that pulley. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a bit. That'll do. Let's see if we have enough slack, and we do. I have no idea what the torque setting is. Oh, there it is. So we're just gonna use our instincts in terms of, or use my instincts in terms of how to make this. And this one is original. Let's see how tight that is. Well, that's pretty tight. Oh, well, maybe that's too tight. Pulley's a little different. Isn't that interesting? That is very interesting, but that's all we've got. So I'm going to use it. I'm just not going to put down on it all that much. I don't like that. Doesn't turn it off. Unless it's got this. I bet you that's it. This is front, so I had it wrong before. Reasonably tight. I'm going to order a replacement pulley here because this one is the last of the original. So I replaced this in the last video that I did on the drive repair. This one is original to the, did I say original to the video? This is original to the machine, and quite a bit of play. So I'm going to order maybe 2 more of those pulleys. They're not expensive. And replace that at some point in the relatively near future. The one thing I've said before in the other videos with this lawnmower is that in the previous life of this mower at another house that I lived at, had a very small piece of property. And so less than 1/4 of an acre, and of that 1/4 of an acre, there was a big house planted on it, and a lot of that 1/4 of an acre was taken up by driveway. So there was only a relatively small patch of yard, front yard, and a little bit of backyard. Didn't get a lot of use. However, that yard was all on a fairly steep slope because my house was on a hill. And so even though the machine overall didn't get a ton of use in terms of, you know, having to mow an acre or even a half acre, which is what I have now, the drive system has certainly seen a lot of use, because I could not have pushed this mower, or not easily anyway, on the slope on that other property. So not surprised that these drive parts are wearing out. So anyway, that's actually it. So the repair is successful. We'll put the cover back on. You don't need to see that. It's pretty obvious that it'll go back on the way it came off. And I think I'll take a grinder to that blade for now, and I know that Lowe's sells replacement blades, so the next time I'm at Lowe's I'll probably pick up a new blade for the mower. But the grass is getting tall and I really would like to cut the grass this evening. Even though it's blazing hot out, it's getting on towards evening. I'll wait till dusk before I cut the lawn, so I don't drop dead from heat exhaustion. But from a symptoms perspective, I think it's worth pointing out that before this pulley failed, I was noticing two things, actually three things with the mower. One was that it seemed to be laboring, and that was probably because that bearing on that pulley was failing. The motor seemed to be laboring a bit more, and it was using more gas. And also noticed that once the drive system was in use for a while, heated up, if you will, that the drive system performed less and less. So it was not pushing the mower from the point at which you just started up and start mowing to the point at which you stop. The drive mechanism was not pushing the mower as vigorously at the end as it was in the beginning. And again, I think that was because that pulley was heating up and that it was binding, or it was already bound or frozen, wasn't turning properly, and the motor was struggling to overcome that. And the third thing that I noticed was, even though I wear ear protection for this lawnmower when I do cut the lawn, I did notice that there were some loud metal scraping, or maybe squealing is the right term, that was coming from under the deck. I knew there was something going on under there, but I didn't know what. And obviously, eventually I found out the hard way that you know, kind of scraping-ish, squealy-ish, metal-on-metal noise was most likely coming from that bearing. So if you're having any of those similar problems where the engine appears to be laboring and using a little bit more gas, hearing some funky noises coming from underneath the engine, then you may have dying pulleys on your hands, and may need to replace them before they decide to give out completely. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching it. I hope you found it even a little useful, which is all that I require in order to take the effort to cut the video and upload it to YouTube. So take care, and we will see each other again at some point in the future when I have something that I think is worthwhile to share. Thanks. Bye.